Welcome to Wonka Watch. I'm your #1 premium Wonka scholar, Felicia, here to tell you about all things Wonka, whether you want to or not. I'm here by force,
I'm
and
Elaine,
I'm knocking down your door.
I got trapped into doing this unofficial podcast. I swear to God, if we get sued, Felicia, you're taking the rap, not me. Let's hope not.
Let's hope not.
Won't
that be
sued.
a fun episode?
Honestly,
we got sued by Wonka.
Dreams come true. Most attention I'll have gotten from a boy in a while, you know. Willy Wonka is real. He's the one who's gonna sue us. Yeah. We're two people who didn't really think they cared about Willy Wonka until we learned that there was a prequel in the making. And now here we are.
And I'm here to bring you all the news about Wonka.
Beep, 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 oh my goodness.
It's Wonka time.
Wonka.
Wonka Watch. This episode, we're kind of just taking our time and talking about everything we know so far. And it's a lot, ladies and gents, but also absolutely nothing. So people have kind of been into Wonka recently because of the photos that were published about Timothée Chalamet. He posted one on his Instagram of him in the Wonka costume. And people had a lot of feelings about that. A lot of people compared him to Gonzo from The Christmas Carol, according to an article from the MI Post. And it's pretty damning evidence, Elaine, if you take a peek at the Wonka Watch notes, if you would like. It's pretty spot on.
Wow. Y'all need to look this up. This is spot on.
It's literally the same costume. And Timothée Chalamet does have a little bit Muppetish features about him. I think it's maybe the angularness.
Yes,
he looks like he was sculpted out of foam. The other thing that really brought attention to Wonka was before this came out, a Timothée Chalamet fan lived by the beach that they were filming Wonka, and they took a video and posted it on Twitter, and that is kind of what started this whole shenanigan and kind of reinvigorated my Wonka love. So shout out to Art Doherty. They are kind of helping us out here. They posted this video, and they got an interview with Vulture. Vulture magazine interviewed the Timothée Chalamet stan that broke the Wonka news, and they got a quote from Art that said, "If you're gonna do a young Willy Wonka, he's gonna end up a twink by nature. But the joie de vivre from the walk and the way he's just bouncing along with a little top hat and tails, it's just Twinkie behavior. There's no other way to put it."
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I have to reread the end of that because I was.
It's joie de vivre, by the way.
But the joie de vivre from the little walk. Oh. Okay.
Vive.
But the joie de vivre from the little walk. And the joie de vivre.
No,
well, how do you even say it? I feel like you're just lying to me.
It's joie de vivre.
How about you say it?
Oh, me like.
But the.
Oh, okay.
But the.
Okay. Joie de vivre.
From the walk and the way he's just bouncing along with a little top hat and tails, it's just Twinkie behavior. There's no other way to put it. I'm sorry. And that's in reference to them tweeting, calling Timothée Chalamet twonka. Twink and Wonka.
Oh yeah. Yep.
And they got interviewed about it, and it's an astute observation. So Art Doherty, you're really killing it for us. He also is the person that linked the video, which is great.
Man.
So that's how we know that this
part
is
of
musical,
our
because we didn't know that
unofficial,
before.
On the ground, part of the Wonka Watch team unofficially doesn't know what it is. Thank you, Art Doherty.
Yeah. So Art gave us some more insights. They said that they think it's really cute. They don't know if it's going to be the final version, but it's nice to see him skipping around with his little cane and hat. That is a direct quote. So the Vulture people really got in here. How would you describe the plot based exclusively on what you've seen? And they said, Warner Bros. Are going to drag me for this. There seems to be a lot of French writing on the vehicles and number plates. So they might be in France or Canada, but don't hold me to it. And they were filming him getting on or off a boat. And either he's going to get the Oompa-Loompas or he's coming back. I don't know. Don't want to wade into the Oompa-Loompa discourse too much because it's going to be a thing, which is a very astute observation. I agree. I think it's insane that they've implied this movie is going to be about the Oompa-Loompas because that is the worst part of Wonka you could focus on. There's no way for them to come out of this and have it be a fun, friendly movie without there being some weird colonizer, like slavery shit going on.
Don't
please, like, I know we need to acknowledge the bad things that happen, but for a fun family movie in 2023, can we not do the origin story of the Oompa-Loompas? what I want to hear about is Slughorn and the Chocolate Spies, which is something we're going to talk about later. But I hope that's what the movie is. So because of the Twonka tweet, an SNL skit got produced, which I just learned about,
my God.
which is Proud Gay Oompa-Loompa on Timothée Chalamet Wonka, starring Bo and Yang. He did very well. It's very funny. We're not going to watch it on the podcast. I do have an episode planned about the Charlie and the Chocolate Factory SNL canon because I think it's going to grow. I think that'll be a fun episode. Thing was more about the working conditions in the factory and the politics of being a gay Oompa Loompa. And in this, the Oompa Loompa posits that Wonka doesn't actually know how to make chocolate, and he's an ideas man who's never touched a machine, which is actually
Ooh.
probably a pretty valid take.
I mean, I don't know. I think Wonka's gone through
Well,
some stuff, you know, like
Yeah, well, if we go by the Johnny Wonka, I'm calling him Johnny Wonka.
I like this.
Gene Wonka, Johnny Wonka, and Timmy Wonka.
Timmy Twonka.
Johnny Wonka's big problem was that his dad was a dentist, and that was really dramatic for him. So we're going to take a second now to discuss the video that kind of started everybody on this. Timothée Chalamet singing in a new Wonka Set video. I may put the audio in here. If I do, please don't sue me, Warner Brothers. It was all over Twitter. I'm giving you free advertisement. We're going to view this video real quick.
Now it's time to show the world my recipe. Good luck, Willy! I've got 12 silver sovereigns in my pocket. Is a hat or you might be changed of dreams.
Okay, so Elaine, do you want to come back to me?
I needed a moment.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go over some of these lyrics. The first line he sings is, and I'm gonna show the world my recipe.
Recipe.
Right. So this kind of implies he's like a little he's just in his kitchen making chocolate. Like, is he in his kitchen making? I made bubble gum that tastes like any dinner in the world, and he's just like in his kitchen doing
Little
that.
Baker boy.
Yeah, I think that's very fun. And he said, I have 12 silver sovereigns in my pocket. Now, do you know what a sovereign is? Because I've never heard of that in my life. Is that a
European?
Let me look up sovereigns.
See, that
because I don't think
sounds-
that's currency. I looked up sovereigns and it said pontiff is the non-plural noun of sovereigns, which is the Pope.
I've got 12 popes in my pocket.
Here we go. The sovereign is a gold coin of the United Kingdom that has a nominal value of £1 sterling. Struck in 1817, it was originally a circulating coin that was accepted in Britain and elsewhere in the world, and is now a bullion coin. Don't know what that means. And sometimes mounted in jewelry. It has been minted from 1817 to present, but they don't really, although it's no longer in circulation, it's still legal tender.
So this kind of helps us narrow down our time, right? I mean, if he's got sovereigns, we're like 1817 and prior, right?
They stopped doing it in like 1980, so it really doesn't narrow down that much. But I do think it's like wild that this confirms that this takes place in the UK, and Timothée Chalamet is full New Jersey in this.
Which, look, we have a history in movies where we'll be in a foreign country, but the main character is always American, even if it doesn't make
it does
sense.
stick with the Wonka canon though, because in every Wonka movie he's American. So on to the next line. I have 12 silver sovereigns in my pocket. Oh, and then what does the one guy say? He says, "Good job, Willy."
Yes.
What does he say?
Good luck, Willy. Yes.
Yeah, he says, "Good luck, Willy," which I think is very fun and exactly what you would expect to happen in the
Beauty
scene.
and the Beast. Good morning.
Yeah, this is his Belle from Beauty and the Beast moment. What if the Wonka movie is Beauty and the Beast, but the Beast is a giant anthropomorphic chocolate bar? The last line he says is, "And a hat full of dreams."
The hat full of dreams. Wait,
So,
I'm sorry. Are we gonna get an origin story on Wonka getting his hat? Like, it's not just gonna be a
oh my
thing.
God.
It's like gonna have a reason.
Hey, and you made fun of my episode title. What is in Willy Wonka's hat? You made fun. You made fun
You were
of
like,
my
that could
title.
be a whole episode. I'm like, no, it can't. But I guess now
I think it can, Elaine.
Right.
If there's a song called "Hat Full of Dreams," what are those dreams?
I got
What's in
a
that
hat full of dreams and a pocket
I do
full
think
of
it'd be really fun.
sovereigns.
Wouldn't it be funny if they like made Wonka like a full harlot?
God, I'd love that.
Like if he was sleeping
Lovely
his way through the upper
Wonka's waiting
echelons
on
of
the
society.
street.
Do you think "Hat Full of Dreams" is going to be the new "Let It Go"?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I
I think there's gonna be a song from this that's very like
it's
Never
like
Enough,
the
Greatest
one that
Showman-y.
makes it. So this goes
Yeah.
to show, I mean, I don't know the original musical. Are they taking the songs from the musical, or are these all
No.
originals? They're starting from scratch. Bold.
There's not a
Oh, I guess
Wonka
because
musical.
it's
Yeah, the musical is just Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which we are learning Elaine knows less and less about than we
well,
thought.
I think that's
Um,
I think I get to be the normal standard for people who aren't as into Wonka.
So that's kind of our new news about Wonka. I have some great photos from set that we're going to be touching on later that would normally be a part of Wonka Watch, but because this episode we're talking a lot about the cast and kind of our main predictions, I didn't want to reveal those to Elaine until later. I think it'll
I'm
be a little bit more
Pretty
impactful.
scared.
Okay, so let's get into some of the main facts about Wonka. So this movie is going to be directed by Paul King and produced by David Thewlis. And they're the combo that did Paddington, which is the only thing that has made me kind of excited about this movie because I fucking love Paddington. I want you to know, so Elaine has not seen Paddington,
No.
and I need to get across to her. So this movie is written by Simon Farnaby. So he also wrote Paddington 2, which is unironically one of the best critically reviewed films of the past few years. For a very long time, it had a 100% fresh critics rating on Rotten Tomatoes until
Wow.
some guy fucked it up. I hate that guy. He ruined my favorite thing, and is the 211th highest rated film on Letterboxd.
Wow.
Like it's up there with The Godfather and stuff.
Oh my
This movie is
God.
genuinely so good. It's really good, Elaine. Like you need to see Paddington.
Okay.
It is one of the most wholesome films I've ever seen. It is such a good kids movie. And honestly, knowing that there's this combo, I'm kind of like, should I be this upset about Wonka? Because now it kind of sounds good. Because Paddington is genuinely like, I was like, I want to make a Paddington t-shirt. I'm gonna get some Paddington merch. You know, like I love Paddington. Dude.
When you love
Um,
hard. You go.
It's
all the
about a
way.
little bear going through this big world, Elaine. How can you hate it? David Thewlis and Paul King also. Oh, so David Thewlis also produced Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them, which really puts me back down to earth when I'm on my Paddington high. When I remember that's also what this is coming from. And he did all the Harry Potters. Harry Potters are fine, but Fantastic Beasts, I'm really getting that energy from this movie, and it concerns me, to be honest. So, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go through the cast, and we know who is in the movie, but we don't know who anyone is playing except for Timothée Chalamet. And I like the fact that like we don't know that right now.
Yes.
And we're only going to be living in this ignorant bliss for so long. And I kind of wanted to give us some time to do our predictions. I did not do predictions for everyone because, frankly, I don't know who some of
Pretty
these
hard,
people
right?
are. So I looked on some Wikipedia pages. But first, we know Timothée Chalamet as Willy Wonka, and I want to get your take on who you think Keegan-Michael Key is in this movie.
I actually was not sure at all. I could not figure it out. Like I can't tell if he's going to be good or bad. I think
Trust me, I can't tell either.
I think evil.
And I know things.
I think he verges on evil, and I feel like I can't tell how big of a role he's going to have either because we have some pretty big hitters in this cast, which is confusing. I mean, go
I
for
will
it.
say,
but, you know,
the photos I found are not going to answer any of these questions for you.
I mean, I just keep thinking, honestly, like I look at this cast and then I think about how star-studded Cats was. And we know how that went. But I'm going to go with, he is playing maybe a morally gray character. And I think he'll be more involved in the business type of this. He'll be like the travel companion, the Gollum, if you will, the Schmeagol. He might be the Schmeagol of this journey. But I don't think he'll have a huge role. I don't know.
So I don't have a prediction for Keegan-Michael Key because I kind of got spoilers, so I didn't want to make a prediction. With the information I have, because I know what his character is, but I don't know what his role in the film is, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean? And I've seen no one talking about this. So we are breaking this news. We are on the forefront of the Wonka. Elaine, I'm going to ask you to open this link, and we're going to go photo by photo to this. So these are some on-set Wonka photos. There's a photo of Timothée Chalamet just kind of standing there. I thought it was a little funny. I don't know. There's something about it.
Looks the way that his coat is set, it looks like we are back at Harry Potter.
It really
does. On his way to
and
class
I think
in his robes.
I think the face mask, the clear plastic face mask, really is an image.
He's doing the visor vibe
and the umbrella. Yeah, it's interesting. He looks like he's at Christmas Town at Busch Gardens.
Oh, yeah.
So the next photo, appears to be Timothée Chalamet next to a crying child.
She looks confused laughter. Like, I'm laughing because this is weird and I don't know what's supposed to be
Yeah, she
happening.
doesn't look comfortable, is what I would say.
No.
I wouldn't say she's crying. There's a lot of ways to read this emotion. None of them are happy, though.
No.
None of them are happy. And Timothée Chalamet looks to be enjoying this girl's discomfort.
Yes, pure happiness.
In character for
pure happiness,
Wonka.
which I think, like, we don't really see Wonka be purely happy in movies. I feel like he tends to be, like, very depressed but with, like, mania.
Is this going to be Wonka's demise?
Oh, we
God,
get to watch
imagine
him
if this
be from
movie-
happy to just, like, depressed and putting up a front.
I hate children. Okay, so let's move on to the next photo. This is the real meat and potatoes. So, Elaine, can you describe to the viewers, I'm going to have a link to this, what they are seeing in this photo?
If Keegan-Michael Key went to a sea witch and asked to be turned into Mr. Potato Head, but also Javert from Les Mis, that is what we have.
Yeah.
He definitely, we've got an army, like policeman vibe. Looks very French to me, like French officer uniform, but very ridiculous. We have a sassy mustache. And it's pretty
he looks like an illustration.
They have made him look heavier. Interesting.
Yeah, they
choice.
definitely have. There's some prosthetics going on.
There's
here,
a lot.
Keegan-Michael Key is a twig of a
like
man.
if you had just straight up shown this to me, I wouldn't have directly known it was him, but you can see it in the eyes. But this is quite wow. This is wow.
But I've seen nobody talking about this. Can you believe
How is
it,
nobody
Elaine?
talking
Because
about this?
I lost my mind when I saw these photos. Because it's insane. Yeah, there's more down here. So there's
Matt Lucas
from the Great British Baking Show. But he really looks like an illustration. I will say, amazing jawline on this man.
Wow.
On this photo. They really
This changes some of
brick
my
of a
my
face.
predictions for who plays who, because I had Matt Lucas playing a totally different character, but now
I know, right?
wow. Okay.
I know. So, but here's the thing. Keegan-Michael Key, this answers none of your questions about his
It
character,
doesn't.
which I think
no,
is
I mean, I
great.
definitely get evil
But
vibes, but
It's very enlightening, though. It's giving kind of Sacha Baron Cohen and Hugo.
yes.
You ever see that? Yeah, he's very just like, I'm French.
Uh-huh.
And because there was French writing, that supports our theory. So, yeah, this is great breaking news. I'm going to have links to these images in the show notes. So, yeah, that is kind of our Keegan-Michael Key knowledge. We're breaking the new shit on this Wonka podcast. You come here for the hottest takes. The one-stop shop for all things Wonka. We got it all.
Your dreams come true. Your deepest
on
Wonka
Wonka
desires
Watch.
that we know you are burning with. We got you.
All right. Sally Hawkins, the fish lady.
Hold on. I need to actually pull up the cast because I don't know. A hot take. It's not a hot take. I truly don't know actor names. I only know their faces.
Yeah.
So I might have to go through and be like, where are they from? So she looks familiar.
Yeah, she was the lady who fucked the fish in Shape of Water.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay.
I think she's going to be Timothée Chalamet's mom.
Really?
Look at their face.
Oh, I guess I could see that.
I thought it was going to be Olivia Colman at
Same.
first. But then I saw Sally Hawkins was on the cast and I said, oh, I do not think it's Olivia Colman. Yeah, I think she's going to be Wonka's mom. She played the mom in Paddington as well. So I feel like they might be using that again. I don't know.
Okay. Wait.
Yeah.
Okay, Sally Hawkins, the mom. I'm with
Mhm.
this. Olivia
Yes.
Colman, the fun aunt that helps him pursue his dreams.
That is actually what I said. I thought she might be some old rich lady who gives Wonka his first big break.
And her widow's top hat. His lucky top hat she gifts to him.
Your old uncle,
Walrus
Richard Wonka. Walrus Wonka.
So, I meant to say Rufus, and I said Walrus. Olivia Colman is not that old.
I know. I think it's because she plays like
The
queens all the
That's fair,
time.
that's fair.
The first exposure I had to her is in The Favorite, and she's just withered there. And I think that's kind of my view
Yes.
that I come to Olivia Colman with. Yeah, so Olivia Colman, I thought she might be some old rich lady who gives Wonka his first big break. Also, if he goes Wonka harlot route, getting that investment any way you can, Wonka.
Yep. To earn money for chocolate, his stage name was Candy.
Next we have we didn't talk about Rowan Atkinson.
Yeah.
So Mr. Bean is in this movie. I said he would be Wonka's dad.
See, I'm going to have to change because I had Matt Lucas as Wonka's crazy dentist dad. But now that I know he's probably more
Oh.
Slughorn vibes or something. And you know what I mean? I agree now that I think Rowan Atkinson is the dad. I see that as well.
But yeah, so now we're gonna move on to Jim Carter, who I had to look up.
Oh,
The only take I
Downton
have about this
Abbey.
man.
Downton Abbey.
He's Downton Abbey.
Oh, Parsons?
Oh.
Carson.
In my opinion, I think he's the guy who says "Good luck, Willie" in the TikTok clip. I don't know if that's
Ooh,
true.
He's
but I, feel like he
I
might
get
be.
the vibe that he is the friendly. He's the one who teaches him how to maybe like make the chocolate and stuff and helps inspire
He's
him.
like, have you ever heard of what a pan is
a
before?
pan?
Now you're gonna melt some shit in it.
Wow, that's
A
wild.
pan? No, sir, mister. I've never seen a pan before. That's Timothée Chalamet.
That's a good Timothée Chalamet. Jesus.
Is it?
I was like, is he here in my dreams? Am I?
Oh my god,
what?
thank you.
Wow, I'll work on mine.
I will never stop doing terrible impressions. Never stop. So next is Matthew Bainton, who I have a hot take about.
Oh,
I think this is Slughorn. I think he is Slughorn.
really?
I don't know who Slughorn is really, but I did read the Wikipedia article of Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory when I was coming up with this podcast, and he was mentioned a lot as kind of this like early business partner and betrayal. And I think that there's going to be a lot of Tumblr shippage between these two if he is Slughorn. Because if you look up this man, he's like, I think he's like 30 something.
Okay.
So he's older than Wonka, but out of this cast, there's got to be somebody that Wonka's going to get shipped with, and I can't picture it being anybody but this guy. Do you know what I mean?
I see it.
It was Keegan Michael Key.
That's a very specific vibe.
Oh my god, he's 40?
Time flies. So quick thing. So Simon Farnaby, he wrote this, right? He wrote the screenplay. Is he
Yes.
also
Yeah.
starring in it? Because I see him here.
Yeah.
In which case,
he's going to be in it.
I have a theory. I have a big theory here. Well, it's kind of my prediction as well, but I'll come up with a new one at the end. But I think Willy Wonka has a brother.
Oh.
Yeah, which kind of changes that dynamic, right? Like, we don't know much about the family life, and I feel like
Okay, so if Simon Farnaby was playing his brother, is this what you're
kind
proposing?
of, yeah.
Simon Farnaby is 23 years older than Timothée Chalamet.
Okay, well, maybe not. Then not him. But I think. I mean, I originally was going to go with Matthew Bainton. I don't know much about him.
That actually is.
So
a good
I thought
take. That's
he
a very
actually
good
might
take.
be the brother, and then I don't know if the brother is encouraging or if the brother is evil. You know, I don't know what the vibe is, but I really don't know why. I just get this vibe that this Willy Wonka has a brother, and we know brothers means drama, but also wholesomeness.
I also thought there's another alternative that I realized is maybe Wonka doesn't have a dad.
2 moms. Oh,
That's very progressive. I was thinking that's his problem, is that he has
daddy issues. I'm with it.
I would be down for an Olivia Colman, Sally Hawkins, Wonka mom combo. I think
that'd be
great.
so fun. But yeah,
but anyway, because I was picturing it and I could just Timothée Chalamet saying, I've never had somebody who was like a dad to me before. And like, you know, it's like this old chocolatier man who he like connects with. And that might still be Rowan Atkinson. I think he might still be the father figure for Wonka, but that would provide a motivation of why he really wants to take these kids under his wing. You know what I mean? He's like, I never had a dad. So I want to give these, I want to be a father figure for these kids. I'm Wonka. My name is William Wonka.
I just scrolled down to the bottom and I just saw we do have someone else labeled as the Mourner, Alfredo Tavares. Do you see this? At the very bottom, Alfredo Tavares is now listed as a mourner. And what the fuck does that mean?
Any credits?
He's born in Portugal. That's a credit.
Does Willy Wonka die?
His mother died when he was only 5. Why is that in his profile? What? That's such a weird thing to be like, let's talk about you. Oh, that. Look, after having seen some movies with Bruce Lee and Chuck Norris, he started doing martial arts. This is weird. Okay, I don't think he hasn't really done much is what I'm seeing.
So there's a martial artist at a funeral in the Wonka movie.
So why, but he's big enough to be on this page right now. What?
I wonder if it might be a misinformation. Well,
Hopefully.
we will keep
We'll
tabs
keep
on
tabs
it.
on that.
What is his name?
Alfredo Tavares.
So there may be a martial artist at a funeral in this movie.
Wow, I love
That's
that.
a new clue. That's a new clue. Okay, so for me, okay, we had Tom Davis. I had a really specific prediction for this
Okay.
one. A gruff grunt work guy that meets Wonka as he loads barrels onto a ship, and they develop a weird friendship where you think he hates Wonka, but then he buys one of his early candy bars, and at the end says something like, "I always thought he was a good lad."
I weirdly had kind of a similar vibe. I was like,
Yeah.
starts off being really grumpy, but then slowly comes to
Mhm.
like Willy Wonka, like gets worn down eventually.
Exactly.
I'm not sure. See, here's my
Um,
whole thing. The problem with me trying to predict this is that we know he's going off to meet the Oompa Loompas. Okay, right? Like that's the plot.
Yeah. Well, we don't know
We
that
don't know
for
that for
sure because
sure.
I only
Okay.
saw that. I don't think so. I'm
I
kind of
don't
going
think
out
so
hope
because I was like, I don't know how to get like
that is a minefield.
that's a minefield.
Why
That's
would you do
terrifying.
that
And then like I don't
willingly?
know if they were gonna change like the Oompa Loompas, like what they're gonna be. So I was very afraid to try to guess certain things with that. So I think that's good to be like, hopefully that's not.
I realized I've only seen it on one article, and most people said they don't know details about the movie, so I'm just gonna assume it's not
I would
that,
be very shocked if
and hope
that's
for everybody's sake. Just because I'm like, why would you, as producer, say, "Yeah, let's tackle the Oompa Loompas,"
yeah in a musical for
which have
children.
a very troubled history.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Yeah. So yeah, I imagine he's on the travels.
The only other prediction I made was for Simon Farnaby, and I just feel like he'll steer a boat, like he's a boat captain. He just has
Oh,
a
a
face
fun
that
little
looks like he'd wear a
cameo.
captain's hat. Yeah. I don't think he's gonna be a big
Oh,
role.
I love it. Well, I have a few more.
Oh yes.
I
Give me all
apologize.
these.
I didn't look up how to pronounce her name, but Rakith Akrar.
Yes,
I
she's in Sex Education. I love her. In
okay.
that,
Is she
so.
old enough to be a love interest? Because I think she might be.
Yes,
I think she's
definitely.
going to be the girl who loves adventures and wears pants.
I would love if she was that. Honestly,
And
she's great in
I
that
have a
show.
feeling,
She is 37. Right.
and I think my theory is we do have a child on the cast.
Who is it?
I watch it be an adult. Okay, yeah, it's Colin O'Brien, and I think we're gonna have
Yeah.
young Wonka leading into Wonka. So we're
Ooh.
gonna get even
Yeah.
more of the childhood in this movie, which I think is good.
What does this kid look like?
He looks kind of like the little boy in Les Mis. Very scraggly.
Gavroche.
Yes,
What's his name?
Gavroche. I'm a little child in Les Mis. Oopie boops. Winky donks.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's a young.
That's a young
Timothy.
Timothy. That's a young Timothy if I've ever seen
Clearly.
one.
I am now seeing the Mourner.
Isn't it weird? Why,
Who
of all
is
the
this
people to
guy?
label, do we release that?
I don't know.
I don't get it.
Oh, he's in the Batman as a forensic.
Oh, so he's pretty good at these weird background roles.
Yeah. He's Inspector Andrew in Blackmail, a police officer in the HBO Max show Nevers. So he just kind of plays. I think he might just be an extra. He was a coffee shop customer in Gangs of London.
Why did he get why is he on this? I don't know. Good for him if he is just
He was
an
an
extra.
uncredited gang member in Jungle Cruise. He's in more movies than I will ever be. He was an upper class citizen in Bridgerton.
Oh, wow.
So you've probably seen this man, guys.
Wow.
You've
Probably seen him
this man. He
everywhere.
was an aristocrat in the great. He was Hero Ferrari box, uncredited in Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and then I have a theory for who young Willy Wonka's best friend is. I think it's Patterson Joseph. He just seems like he's got a good vibe, very fun, and I think it is, when you look at how white is this cast, they tried.
Yeah. They did
try. They sprinkled in some diversity, but it's better.
It's better than I thought it would
Yeah,
be.
actually, to be honest, same. And
I wasn't
we
expecting
haven't even
much.
seen the full cast, so I actually do think they did pretty well. We'll see how many.
Considering the history.
Yes.
Yeah, we have to see. See. So, do you have any more predictions?
No, I think that pretty much covered it.
I love it.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna move on a little bit to some of the development history about this movie. So this has actually been, this is fascinating. So in October 2016, Warner.
Sorry, that was just such a we made this podcast and we're the only people.
I wasn't joking.
I
was
know,
genuinely fascinated.
I know.
So in October 2016, Warner Brothers acquired the rights to the Willy Wonka character by Roald Dahl, who you now know who they are. So here's the thing. if they acquired the rights to the Willy Wonka character, does that mean Netflix in their big Roald Dahl development deal, does that mean that they don't have Willy Wonka, but they have everything else? Because that would be hilarious.
That would be so
if they
wild.
don't, if they're like, we have a show about Oompa-Loompas, but we can never say the name Willy Wonka. I assume they
Mr.
probably have
Chop
access,
That
but it's
Man.
very funny. Okay, so this has basically been in development since 2016 with the
Wow.
producers David Heyman and Michael Siegel, and then Paul King was in negotiations to direct since 2018. So that same year, we got the current short list of actors, who none of which made it to where we are today.
Wow.
So I will say there's going to be an episode later down the line called The Wonkas That Never Were, which are all the people who almost got Wonka, because the 2005 potential list is one of the most insane things I've ever read in my life. I'll give you guys a little sneak peek. Robert De Niro. Moving on.
Robert De Niro.
So Robert De Niro.
Oh my. Oh my.
Okay, so here are the people who were shortlisted for Wonka. So number 1, Donald Glover
For Young Willy Wonka?
for Young Willy Wonka. Which like is cool, but it's also okay.
I mean,
so
yeah, I
it is-
could see it.
he would be good.
I could see it actually. I could see him being older Wonka, who I think is more
Yeah.
chaotic versus
Yeah,
this
yeah,
might be
like
more
middle-aged,
wholesome,
because he's also not like, how old is Donald
He's not
Glover?
that. I mean, I feel like he might be older than the young Wonka.
He's
but
38
yeah, I was gonna say he's a little older than
Yeah,
like
like,
maybe what
he's-
they.
for a prequel. And then this also puts it into question. Ryan Gosling was number 2.
Ew! What? Are you
Which-
shitting me?
Yeah,
Ryan Gosling could have
Yeah.
been young Willy Wonka.
yeah, which he wouldn't
Okay,
be young. Like,
I
it
don't know
was
why we keep letting
2018.
him sing. Stop. I would rather hear Timothee sing than Ryan
Really?
Gosling. Yeah.
I don't think I've ever. When I think about it, I really haven't seen Ryan Gosling in many things.
I mean, mostly it was La La Land, and then I got mad.
I haven't seen it.
You know, I mean, he wasn't
Mhm.
bad. It just I can't see him carrying as the lead in a Willy Wonka musical.
Yeah,
So I am
think
glad.
if it
Also,
wasn't a musical,
again, too old
we
for
went
young
dark-
Wonka. Like,
yeah, if we went dark middle-aged Wonka, like a twisted dark take on Willy Wonka,
Uh-huh.
which already exists, we don't need
Yeah.
it. But I actually think he would be pretty good, like in like a middle-aged. This is how my parents died.
yeah,
Very Joker-esque.
Yeah.
I think that would be kind of
I
fun.
could see that.
But yeah, and then the third person was Ezra Miller, which is interesting.
Okay.
And I kind of see it, but also I think it's good because Ezra Miller has had a lot of bizarre things going on
see,
that
this
I
is
don't
another
understand.
person,
and I'm not read up on.
that
Have you ever seen Perks of Being a Wallflower? They were in
I
Fantastic
have.
Beasts. They're an interesting figure. They were in Fantastic
recognize
Beasts
them.
supposed to be playing like a 12-year-old when they are clearly not 12. Like they
Oh, that's uncomfy.
yeah,
Okay.
it was bizarre.
Okay, I see
Um,
the aesthetic though.
They were a good
but
actor, but they kind of are always tortured.
Yeah, we needed something.
And I
a
think
little
they were
more
like, maybe we need to do
little
something
peppy.
different. So the big thing that got me on the Wonka train, unwillingly, I was kind of shoved onto it, was when it was announced that the short list was down to Timothée Chalamet versus Tom Holland. I will say, thank God they picked Timothée Chalamet.
I know Tom Holland.
No
I just
offense.
don't see
It's
that for
so
his career.
weird.
It
doesn't make
feels
sense.
wrong, and I don't know what his singing is like. And you know, you don't want to typecast
Yeah.
someone, but
He
just
wasn't Billy
really-
Elliot as a kid. He was on Broadway.
Oh,
But also it is revealed, as this article says, that the film serves as a prequel to the 1964 novel Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. So I think a lot of people are assuming it's a direct prequel to the Gene Wilder version, which I guess could be.
yeah, but that one
I
doesn't
think they're
follow
probably trying to keep it ambiguous.
the 2005
No, it
version.
doesn't.
Actually follows the book closer than the
Yes.
1970s version, but
Yeah,
even then,
1975
it's kind of
kind of gets funky with it.
so. I think
Um,
that's interesting.
Yeah, I think that is interesting. But I think they're going to keep that on the hush hush and kind of let people assume it's a Gene Wilder prequel because that's what people are really invested in. Like, no one really cares about Wonka. They just like Gene
Nobody
Wilder.
even knows who
Um,
Roald Dahl is. So I mean, you know, like that's no one. Who would know who
Yeah.
Roald Dahl is?
Yeah. Okay, so The Guardian noted that online audiences, especially on Twitter, they kind of gave missed responses to it. to the photograph of when Wonka was revealed. I really jumped around in these notes. So when Timothée Chalamet posted his Wonka costume, which I will say I do want to pay attention to. No one has talked about this. He has a cane with a tiny little present on top of it. And like, what's in that?
What's in the present?
Do you think he opens it at the end of the film and it's like it's a single chocolate bean?
Oh.
What if he has some history with what if he wins a chocolate making kit at a carnival with a ticket, and that's how the ticket thing happened?
Oh. I'm thinking like
I'd put money on
somebody's
it.
ring or the secret recipe.
He proposes to somebody
The secret recipe.
with the little present.
The secret recipe.
I keep my secret recipe in here, and they open it, and it's, oh my god, actually this might be it. He's like, I keep my secret recipe in the cane, and then his enemy opens it, and it's empty, and he says, it comes from my heart.
And then he stabs him with the cane.
My cane is actually like also a big sword, and I think that's crazy that like you let it get to this point that Willy Wonka is stabbing you. Okay. So yeah, so judging by the internet, there are essentially two ways to react to the photo. This is a direct quote from The Guardian, so thank you. The first is to be disgusted that Hollywood has bastardized one of the all-time great children characters by inventing a brand new backstory with no input from its creator for cash. I don't really care that much about that, to be honest. I really don't care that much.
Same.
And the second is just to get really horny. So I guess people are attracted to this Wonka, which I did not know about. I was not seeing that discourse. I think people were just like, why? Which, same. And then I kind of wanted to talk about like if we were to cast a Wonka, who would we cast? I'm actually very at peace with the Timothée Chalamet casting. I actually think it was a good choice.
I've come around
I
to
hate to
it. I
admit
got
it.
really like
I
offended
actually
at first.
kind of
but now
like it, and I kind of hate that I like it.
Yeah, I totally vibe with it, and I totally get it, and I actually think it's great. So,
Yeah.
which again, I'm like, I don't know why I want to be mad about it, but there's no point. I like it.
Do you have one you want to share, Elaine? I have a few.
I have a few as well. They kind of went all over the place. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Some of them just to make me laugh. They wouldn't be good, but I just would highly enjoy if they were in it.
I have one cast that I legitimately would like stand by and would make happen, but the rest of these,
I also casted everybody. I don't know if we were supposed to do that, but I did that.
I did not cast everybody, but I'm
Would you
very
like to hear
Hell
that?
yes,
Okay,
please.
cool. Okay, awesome. Well, we'll get through the Wonkas and then we'll go because I just had too much fun. So my one that's like funny but closer probably to maybe being real, like Ryan Reynolds. I feel like if you threw him in there, like
sorry.
he's too old, but
don't
like
Ryan
I feel
Reynolds.
like
I'm coming out.
I think he could do the quirk.
I mean, he
I think
might
he
be
could do
able to,
it.
but he just doesn't do it for me, guys.
I respect that.
I think I also just don't like him because he keeps showing up on my YouTube being like, I own Mint Mobile now. And I'm like, shut up. I don't want you here. I get really aggressive about it. I'm like, why do you own a phone company, Ryan Reynolds? You're an actor. Stick to acting. I have an opinion. I don't know. I think.
Are you okay?
I don't know. I think everybody hyped up Deadpool for me, and then I tried to watch it, and I was like, God, this is really not my speed. This is not my thing.
Oh, see, I loved Deadpool.
Yeah, I respect
That was
it.
my
I respect
jam.
it. It's not for me. It's not my thing.
Yeah.
But I see it. I see your point, and I respect your point.
See
I
it.
see you're valid.
Thank you for acknowledging the light in me that shines back in the light in you.
in me, and the light in you.
I actually technically have two more, but if you want to go back and forth,
I
don't
have
know
like
if you
3
wanna-
more.
Yeah, let's go back and forth.
Okay.
Okay,
So,
you tell me yours. And then.
one that I think would be good if we wanted kind of a serious Wonka take, is Dev Patel. I think he would bring right.
Oh, I love.
He would
that.
be great.
First off, hot as fuck.
Agreed.
Okay,
Exactly. Did you see the Green
sorry, my
Knight?
cow fell
Because
over.
oh my god, dude.
I did not, but I am big fan for Dev.
Right?
Patel.
You see him in a little top hat bouncing around on a truck.
Oh my gosh, I would totally love it. And I don't even care if he couldn't sing. I bet he can. I bet he has
Oh my
like
God.
a voice like molasses. It's
Beautiful.
sweet,
Beautiful
slow,
man.
and seductive.
Beautiful, beautiful man.
Ooh.
But yeah,
Now this movie's gonna suck. Sorry.
like he's kind
He's
of like
so good.
I don't know. He's got this commanding presence, which Wonka kind of needs to have. That's the thing is like, I guess with a young Wonka, it's okay to have an unsure of himself Wonka. But like, could you imagine Timothée Chalamet going in a room being like, "Hey kids, here's the chocolate river." He'd be like maybe could you not eat my chocolate, please? I don't like it that you're eating chocolate in my river.
I sense
I'm sorry that you got sucked up by my chocolate tube. It's like,
there is an element of anxiety
Yeah,
to
he
Timothée
kinda has
Chalamet, whereas
this
Dev Patel is charisma,
confident
Gemini.
Yeah.
you know.
He is. If we want a confident, like I picture him as not a dark take on Wonka, but just like a complicated human take on Wonka, you know?
Yeah. Oh, I love
Like
that. I
Dev
love that
Patel's
casting.
Wonka would cry when his mother died. You know what I mean? And
Yes.
Timothée
Oh,
Chalamet
exactly.
would make chocolate out of her ashes.
Uh, the secret ingredient
Is my mother's ashes.
mother's recipe.
What do I keep
Oh,
in my
good
little present
God.
box? It's my mother's ashes.
That's- this took a dark
Oh,
turn.
okay. I wrote down Mads Mikkelsen because it made me laugh so hard. It'd be such a bad casting, but like, think about it. Like,
Hold on. Oh my God.
bringing that
No.
Hannibal heat.
God almighty. No. I mean,
It's like an old Willy Wonka. I don't agree. His middle name is Dittman.
villain Wonka.
Hey,
villain
his
Wonka.
middle name is Dittman. Okay, that doesn't matter. This doesn't matter. We don't need to do it. We
It's
don't need to
okay.
talk about this.
Okay, my other
Yes,
Wonka.
yes.
I have two other Wonkas. Robert Pattinson, I just thought would be hilarious in my mind. This
No.
is where we enter the chaotic. Like Robert Pattinson, because he kind of can play a lot of different.
Yeah. And
he is legit weird. I don't know if you've ever
the pasta
interviews with
pasta
him.
interview.
The pasta interview.
tinfoil interview. I've told so many people about that, and they
Yes.
don't know what I'm talking about. I'm like, you don't know that
Oh, no.
the interview where he blew up his microwave?
Need to look it up,
It's
guys, 'cause
incredible.
It really defines who he is.
I don't know what he's doing, but I
So
hope
he
he's
like
doing well.
purposely will fuck with
Yeah.
interviewers, but he is also just an odd
Genuinely
man.
weird.
And I just would love to see what he would do with
Mhm.
Wonka. It would be a wild
I
card.
think it'd be great.
And then my last part. Oh,
he'd
sorry.
get people to the movies. He has the similar
He would
like money. Like Timothée Chalamet is a good cast because like this movie's gonna do well. Like people love
Yes.
Timothée Chalamet and people love Robert Pattinson. They're kind of like, I would consider them required reading celebrities. Like even if you don't want to know about them, you know about them. You know what I mean?
Yes. Yeah.
So yeah.
My final one. Daniel Radcliffe.
Oh my god, I love Daniel Radcliffe. I would
Do you
fucking
see that?
love that.
Could you see
I
it?
could see it. I love Daniel Radcliffe
He's
so much.
been on Broadway.
Yes.
So we know he can sing. He can dance.
I love Daniel Radcliffe, dude.
And then he can lean into awkwardness. His American accent also just adds to his like quirkiness. I just could
I
totally
love
see
Daniel
it.
Radcliffe.
Like
this is literally the only thing I've said is that just I love him. I really do. I like short guys. What can I say? I just love Daniel Radcliffe. I don't have really anything to add. I will see anything that man is in.
Okay,
Yeah,
so yeah,
he's
I
good.
think he could be a good Wonka.
He would be a great Wonka. Honestly, though, I just think Daniel Radcliffe is great. I don't have any critical analysis.
general.
I just think he's great. You know, like
He's great. Daniel Radcliffe's great, and Ryan Reynolds sucks. Would you like to hear the rest of my casting?
hold on, I actually have some more Wonkas.
Oh yes.
So I do want to say one thing that I think would be a great opportunity for Wonka is to kind of take something that's a little bit of a blank slate and something that creators can really morph into what Wonka needs. And that's right, I'm talking about Puppet Wonka 2023. I'm trying to make Puppet Wonka happen. Elaine won't let me make it happen, but I'm going to make Puppet Wonka happen. Moving on, my actual genuine casting for Wonka, which I think would be fucking incredible, is do you know British comedian James A. Caster? You'll look at him and you'll say, "Oh, that man's a Wonka right there."
Yes.
Okay, he is not
because he's the one who was on Great British Bake Off, and he goes,
had a breakdown, Bon Appetit. But he's also I'm a big James A. Caster fan. I'm gonna be perfectly upfront here.
When you Google him, by the way, one of the first thing that pops up is, how is James a caster doing?
Oh yeah, okay. So here's actually this would be a big problem if he got cast in this role because he kind of has like a enemies relationship with Rowan Atkinson because Rowan Atkinson stole his girlfriend like 4 years ago.
Oh
yeah.
Wow. Ew. Wow.
Insane,
Whoa.
right?
Rowan Atkinson was the man
Mr. Steal Your Girl.
did.
You know, how do you feel?
Wow.
How I understand why they say that because when you hear that, you go, "How is he doing?" When your girlfriend gets stolen by
Is he
Mr. Bean, how are
okay?
you doing? James A. Caster isn't an actor. He was in the new Cinderella movie, which I did watch for him.
Oh God.
He was one of the mice, and he didn't really do much. He replaced John Mulaney, and his character was still named John, and I think that's very funny. James A. Caster, I genuinely think would be a fantastic. He kind of, in my opinion, is the real life Willy Wonka. Because there's a series, I'm going to put this in the show notes for evidence, called Just Puddings he did with fellow British comedian Ed Gamble, where he basically just eats desserts and describes them for his friend because his friend is diabetic. And he at one point eats a chocolate, starts dancing and says, "I can taste the shape of it." And that is one of the most Wonka things I've ever heard in my life. And then he cuts a piece of fudge wrong and he calls it Little Pepe. and kind of like keeps anthropomorphizing it the whole time. I just think he is Wonka. There was also a podcast he was on. I'm deep in the James A. Casterverse, where he talked about wanting to make a game show where people went through a Krispy Kreme glaze curtain, and that's some Wonka shit right there.
Oh,
And
I love that. Yeah,
I don't know. He's just got the Wonka vibe. He has a distaste for children. I like if you had to pick a modern day Wonka, like you wouldn't really. He's not an actor, but he wouldn't need to act. But in this universe, Wonka cannot be a singer. It would not work. I can't picture him pulling that off. But every other universe, perfect Wonka. Like I think he would be incredible as Wonka. That's my genuine cast. And I want to hear the rest of your cast because I did not realize I applied to you to do the whole cast, but I'm very excited.
Yay. Okay. So hear me out.
Yes.
So I started with the toughest one because I was like, they're going to do Oompa-Loompas. So I thought, wait, they sing. What if we got a boy band?
Oh my God.
And then I was like, what if BTS were the Oompa-Loompas? Can you imagine? They've got the dancing. They've got the singing. Like it would be so good.
And like they don't change the names, and it's just like Jungkook. How do I make this chocolate recipe?
Exactly. I was like, that would be amazing. I also opted we could just clone Justin Bieber over and over and over again. I think that'd be a weird vibe. Or the Mormon Tabernacle Choir. I just don't know where we're going.
The Mormon Tabernacle Choir is one of the best takes I've heard this year. He'll be like, I'm going to see the Oompa-Loompas, and they're like, what are the Oompa-Loompas? He's like, that's what I call the children's choir of New York City. It's like it's not even their, that's just his funny little nickname.
It's just his fun little name. He's like, oh, they're my Oompa-Loompas. So that was the hardest one, but I was like, boy band BTS as Oompa-Loompas singing savagely.
If this was like 10 years ago, I would pay for a One Direction Oompa-Loompa. I think that would be incredible.
Oh wow,
right?
That would be.
Did you see that Harry Styles is in the Marvel Universe now?
What?
Okay, so like at the end of the Elementals movie, apparently in the end credits scene, Harry Styles showed up, and he's Thanos' brother. And he's basically, I read about it, he's basically Space Cupid. So basically his whole thing is he's just like really horny all the time. Like,
what? I just did not see that coming at all for his career.
I really didn't either. Because like he's really good in Dunkirk, but like
I didn't even know he acted at all.
He's in Dunkirk.
I had no idea.
Basically for like 5 minutes, and he's like, "We gotta get on the boat, man." He's actually really good in it. It's really annoying.
Well, that's good.
But like, yeah, he's in a bunch of movies this year, but he's really literally only been in one film, and he's like just kind of knocking him out. He's gonna be in My Policeman and Don't Worry, Darling. Why do I know so much? I'm 18. Next question. What else am I here to do if not to know the Harry Styles news?
Exactly. I was like, One Direction was kind of like I had just aged out.
Yeah, no, that was like in my prime time.
That I had the Jonas Brothers.
Oh, see, I had Jonas Brothers too. I wasn't
that.
like deep in them, but they existed. I liked Kevin.
Man, we all start out loving Joe, end up with Nick, end up back with Joe. He is ripped now.
See, I was a Kevin girl because I liked when he made the birdhouse.
That makes
Camp
sense.
Rock too. Yeah, no, I know it makes sense.
It checks.
My number one crush as a child was Neville Longbottom from Harry Potter. If anyone wants to know anything about me, explains a whole lot, doesn't it?
Oh no. Yeah, no, I was a big Joe Bro fan.
That makes
okay,
sense.
so my next casting for Grandpa Joe.
Yes.
Steve Buscemi.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing. I think it's interesting that you think Grandpa Joe is going to be in this movie.
Oh, I mean, I realized that I've made him way too old. I just really wanted to
also,
OG Wonka
why would he
do
be
it
in this movie?
Well, okay, that is actually the important thing. I did it for OG Wonka.
Okay, so you just
because I had too much fun.
So you casted,
but like for the I did half and half.
Okay, so you're just kind of making up shit now. Did you cast Charlie Bucket as an unborn egg in his mother's womb?
Oh yeah, totally.
Like, why would he be in this movie? Why would Willy Wonka know him?
I got excited. Okay, I was having fun.
It's understandable, but
I clearly went off assignment anyway, so it's just like if I recasted Wonka in general.
Okay, so that's what we're doing. That makes more sense.
Yeah,
I just wanted to clarify. Like, do you think
that
Grandpa Joe is going to be in this movie? Because I don't think he is. Because you brought this up multiple times.
I do. You know what? I'll save it for my prediction. Save it for my prediction.
All right, I gotcha.
Dentist Dad would be Gordon Ramsay.
Oh, that would be very good.
Slugworth would be Queen Latifah. Augustus Gloop I wanted to be played by Zac Efron.
Okay, so now are they getting aged up? I'm a little confused here, Elaine.
Well, okay, I'm going with the vibe that 30-year-olds playing
Oh.
teenagers was a really big thing for a while. So
Yeah,
we're
but
just
like in the
going with
original
that.
Wonka movies, they're like 10.
So
Maybe they could be their parents.
I just don't see what the problem is
I mean,
here.
it's interesting. I'll give it that.
This is my casting.
Okay.
Not
I'll back
yours.
off. I'll back off, Elaine.
Fine, they could be the. They could be the
Oh, no, it's
parents.
fine.
I just love
You
the
back
idea
off.
of Zac Efron being like this
I
little
like the
child who
chocolate.
loves food.
Is Augusta Gloop's German canon? Isn't he canon German?
It brought me a tickle. Charlie Bucket is actually cast as a child. It is Archie Yates, who is set to be in the Home Alone
Oh,
reboot.
yeah.
And is
He'd be
also in
great.
Jojo Rabbit.
He was great in that.
Yeah,
I'd
so
love that.
he looks so
He's
cute.
adorable.
And then I kind of stopped with the kids, except for Veruca Salt. I went with Emma Roberts because she tends to play annoying characters.
She does kind of look like that.
And yeah.
Yeah.
So that was my
I will
very
say I do want
unrelated.
to. I don't know when I can put this in, but I do think that what's her name? Violet Beauregard and Gary Vee, same person. Will not elaborate. We're moving on. Right? Wouldn't he be great?
Wow, I love that so much.
I will never stop chewing this gum, and if
Whole
I
episode.
stop chewing this gum, everyone will be let down. And every day you don't chew gum is a day you could be chewing gum. And that's what I say. Me, Gary Vee. Gary Violet Beauregard. That's my name.
Anyway, that was my very unrelated and inconsistent casting for all of the Wonka verse.
I think one day we can do a
Doesn't
recast
matter.
of like the actual Wonka movies, but when we know more, when
Well,
we
it's
have
too
more
late. I already
information.
did it.
So if you have any issues with Elaine Remai's casting, please send us an email at wonkarapture@gmail.com. Direct your questions, concerns. Probably not Wonka news, because trust me, we already know about it.
We already know.
know.
But we appreciate.
We appreciate the
thought.
effort.
Unless you have insider information.
Unless you work for Willy Wonka, do not contact me. Please contact me, but don't.
But we would love your concerns, complaints.
Yeah.
Possibly nice comments, but we know our lot in life here.
Yeah.
So
You can tell us we're annoying. It's fine. We know. Trust us. We know.
Is it time for
I
predictions?
think it is time for some predictions. I did not prepare any. This is fine. I think.
Oh, that's okay. So for every episode,
Yes.
we make a prediction about what could possibly be happening with this new Wonka,
Yes.
and that can pertain to anything via marketing, actual things in the movie, like whatever, what have you.
I mean,
so my prediction for this movie is that Grandpa Joe and Willy Wonka have an affair, and I really want that to be a thing.
Okay.
I want.
So how?
Because Grandpa Joe has worked in the factory. Like I
That's
just
right,
don't
he did work in
understand
the
that.
factory.
I can't follow it, and I know
Yeah.
that the age difference still doesn't work.
Yeah, it
but
really
I want
doesn't.
it to. my roommate just opened the door and gave me the most skeptical look.
Yeah.
I just want it to be a thing.
Yeah, you do seem to want it to be a thing. You really do.
It just would it would tickle my pickle. But okay, my original prediction
pickle?
though
That was the worst choice of words you could have used there.
We're moving on. My original prediction was that Willy Wonka has a brother who has Loki vibes.
Yeah.
Not low key, but Loki.
Yeah. I think that's very interesting.
Yeah.
I think that's a good prediction. I
love the idea.
I actually want to make the prediction that Wonka doesn't have a dad. And that's a real source of trauma for Wonka. And he finds solace. Perhaps he finds a father figure within the Oompa-Loompas. That'd be fascinating. That'd be interesting. That could be.
Or hopefully they just aren't.
Hopefully we don't have to deal with that, because I'll be honest, I'm not looking forward to those
God.
episodes. We're gonna have to get into the political discourse of the Oompa Loompa, which we will at some point, but like it'll have to be extended if it's
But
in
it's
the movie.
not today.
It's not
It's
today.
not
We
today.
have a while to wait for that.
I love that prediction.
Yeah, I don't think he has a dad.
Good job.
I think Wonka's dad left him. I think Wonka has daddy issues.
Ooh. And so the brother, this is where the tension comes in.
Yeah.
Brother, all that
He's an older
stuff,
brother who kind
man.
of served as a father figure for him, but now he's left the house
Yes.
and he's left all alone. And then Olivia Colman or Sally Hawkins, whoever is his mom, is like, well, what the fuck about me? And he's like, you're just not my dad, Mom. I miss him.
And then someone gives him those 12 sovereigns, you know.
Yeah. So there's that thing.
They're
Is
like, follow
how
your
much is a
dreams.
sovereign? That's the question. Hold on. How much is this? Well, we don't. That's the thing. We don't know when
don't
this
know.
movie's set, so I can't calculate how much 12
We
silver
don't.
sovereigns is to estimate Willy Wonka's class status.
Tune in next week as
we tackle
look to
the
Wonka.
no. We do know what we're doing next week.
Oh,
We're looking at the 1971 movie, which I have never seen.
My
So
God.
that's going to be fascinating. I'm excited to watch. I think I'm going to watch it soon and kind of let it stew. And of course, you can come back next week for more Wonkaverse updates. Hopefully there's something. And if there's not, you will be hearing about an Oklahoma production of the musical.
Be sure to follow us on Instagram at Wonka Watch. And our website is there.
It's also there.
And also, again, be sure to send us your concerns, predictions, what have you, at Wonka Rapture at gmail.com, because we're everything will change with Wonka. We're pretty sure the world will end
my
with this
life
movie.
will be marked before Wonka and after Wonka. Like
Yes.
what are we now? We're in AD after death. Soon we will be AW. A&W root beer after Wonka.
Aww. It's time to end.
All right. Goodbye, everybody. It's been great.
Bye.
Remember, it's not that important. It's not that important. Don't lose sleep over this. It's Wonka.